I found the perfect nostalgic camera, and it's the size of a keychain, and you could buy it for $300. In this video, I'm going to tell you why the Insta360 GO 3S Retro Bundle should absolutely be considered for your next camera. I've been searching for a camera with this classic film look that I didn't have to spend hours editing to get that certain look. I wanted something I could carry around with me everywhere and be small enough where it wasn't too intimidating for people around me. Plus, be a camera that made it fun again to take pictures. Now enter this little guy. This is the new Insta360 GO 3S Retro Bundle. It takes one of the world's smallest 4K action cameras and wraps it in a package that is pure nostalgia. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would I just get a camera that was released in 2024 just because of a new bundle? We'll get into that. So it's got a waist level viewfinder, it has film simulations that I was skeptical about at first, but honestly are a real vibe, and a design that actually makes it fun to take pictures again. Today, we're breaking down how this tiny camera shifts from being just an action tool to using it daily as a cool point of view camera, how it performs for vlogging, and how the magnet on this guy can get shots that no smartphone or mirrorless camera can ever touch. First, let's talk about what makes this specific bundle different, because the Insta360 didn't just change the paint color, they redesigned the entire experience. When you open the box, the first thing you notice is the hardware. Instead of the standard action pod screen enclosure we're used to, this bundle leans entirely into a minimalist setup. First is the retro viewfinder. This is what makes this camera different than most of the cameras out there. It's an optical waist level viewfinder that clips right into the standalone GO 3S module. It forces you to frame your shot from the hip, looking down, exactly like an old film camera. Then, there's also a clever little built-in selfie mirror in the front for quick self-portraits. It does take some time to get used to, but I really like it. My only issue with it is taking vertical shots pretty much makes the viewfinder worthless. But I guess that was the case with any of the old vintage cameras. Then, there's the extended battery pack. Because you aren't docking it into a massive screen pod, they include this slim vintage style battery pack that extends your shooting time to up to 76 minutes. And yes, it does charge while you're shooting. Then we have the wearable strap and magnet. The pendant is a classic ultra strong magnetic necklace that lets you snap the camera right into your chest through your shirt. I've been looking for an easy solution for this point of view type of shot, and this is probably the best solution I've ever seen. Then, there's the NFC custom skin. This thing isn't just for looks. It's a retro textured skin that wraps around your gear, but the thing is, it's smart. You tap your phone against it and it instantly launches the Insta360 app on your phone so you can check your clips or adjust settings on the fly. It really just helps with some of the friction when you're trying to upload videos and pictures to your phone. But a retro look on the outside doesn't mean anything if the footage doesn't match. That's where this software comes in. Insta360 added brand new exclusive film style filters and color profiles straight into the camera, and to be blunt, it's a massive vibe. Take a look at this footage. This is the negative film profile. It gives you those soft, slightly cooler tones with a lower contrast that perfectly mimics classic 90s prints films. I'd say this is the one I use the most. If you want something punchier, switch to the positive film, which pulls its inspiration from classic slide films with rich contrast and deeply saturated colors. They also included the 5 built-in color profiles from the GO 3's initial launch. Those include NC, CC, Mono for dramatic black and white, and my favorite of the bunch, Vintage Vacation. The goal here isn't to capture perfectly crisp, scientifically accurate 4K reality. The goal is to capture a memory that feels like a memory. You get a beautiful stylized shot straight out of the camera, meaning you don't have to sit at a computer color grading or applying filters in third-party apps before you share them with your family or friends or post them online. This is the one reason I opted for this camera over some of the other tiny cameras. I wanted something quick but still had that nostalgic vibe, and this camera definitely has it. So another question is, can I use this thing to vlog? Well, I'd say yes and no. Let me explain. First, you can't connect it to any external microphone, so you have to use a mic and then sync the audio later. I would suggest getting a different camera with higher quality for your talk to the camera sections for your vlog. If you really want to use this camera as a vlogging camera, it'd probably be best to get the original combo with the action pod. Then you could compose your shots with the bigger screen and it flips over too. It would just be too awkward using the viewfinder with this retro combo, and I do think it could pair with another camera and use this one more as a point of view or getting some cool angles and shots. Since there's no screen, you'll have to use the indicator light to know what mode you're in. So to remember, solid cyan means it's on standby mode, flashing red means it's recording, solid red means the camera's off but charging, and flashing yellow means the battery's low. So it can be a tool for vlogging, but probably shouldn't be your A camera, at least not this combo iteration. I would suggest instead looking at the Go Ultra for better video quality. You do sacrifice because the main component is bigger overall, but I think it's probably going to be a better tool for vlogging. One solution for a high resolution preview is using the camera app. You can use it to compose your shots. This is also where you're going to change the settings for your photos and videos. There's a few things I changed in the app. For photos, I put the format from PureShot to JPEG. I think it just makes the photos a little nicer. I also use de-warp for the field of view, and for the filter, my camera has lived on the negative film for all my photos. For the video aspect, I changed it to 4K and de-warp for the field of view. For videos and photos, I've left it on auto. It does a decent job for the photos, but if I ever really needed the motion blur for the video to be on point, then I can change it to manual and dial it in. For the quick shots that I'm actually using it for, auto actually works perfectly fine. Now let's talk about some of the advantages of this camera. It's the size and the magnet. Because underneath that retro aesthetics, this can still be useful for your toolbox. It shoots stabilized 4K video and features Insta360's flow state stabilization, meaning no matter how much you shake it, the footage stays smooth. This allows you to treat it as a legit tool for getting those impossible shots. You can slide this camera into tight spaces where a smartphone or a traditional mirrorless camera setup just wouldn't fit. Want a cool transition? Stick it to a metal pole inside a cup or a toy box. And that magnet, it can be super functional for parents or solo creators. You can wear the magnet pendant underneath your shirt, snap the camera to your chest, and instantly get hands-free first-person point of view footage. You can capture life exactly as you see it, whether it's playing basketball with your kids, cooking a meal, or walking through a crowded street market. This is without having to hold a camera in front of your face. You can also stick it directly on any metal surface. I've slapped this thing on street lamps, car doors, and playground equipment to get quick, creative cutaway shots without needing to carry a tripod. At the end of the day, the Insta360 GO 3S Retro Bundle isn't trying to replace your high-end cinema setup or even your primary action camera for extreme sports. That's not the point. This camera is for the vibes. It's for the street photographers who love the analog aesthetics but want digital convenience. It's for creators who want their daily vlogs to have a distinct cinematic color palette without any extra work. And honestly, it's for anyone who wants to document their life and their family with a tool that's easy to use and you don't need a color grade after. I think you'll use it mostly for those retro-inspired pictures, but can also fit into your workflow for getting point of view videos and using it underwater for shots for your videos or vlogs. So yes, you can use it for video, but if you're getting this combo, it's going to be primarily for the vintage look of the camera and the photos. One thing to keep in mind is after you press the capture button, it takes some time before the picture is taken. I've had a few blurry pictures in the beginning because I kept pressing the button and not waiting long enough, moving it out of the way, and then the picture's blurry. I really like the photos coming out of this thing. It's just such a frictionless way to document your life as a dad. It's so small that it doesn't get in the way, which is perfect for an everyday setup. It perfectly bridges the gap between old school film and modern 4K stability. Let me know in the comments below, do you prefer the clean, perfect look of a modern digital camera, or are you loving this massive shift back to film simulations and retro designs? If you like these dad tech reviews, please subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.